Watu Makanga police stations, but you have stood with me as my lawyer and my advocate, and I want to confirm to the people of PLP that I've never paid even 10 shillings. As our mother and our friend, we honor you and we honor your sacrifice to this country. We do not take it for granted that you've given your heart towards the liberation of Kenya. We as the young people are here to support you through that journey. I have had many speakers come up here and speak about the unity of leaders. That I agree. That as leaders we must come together. Kwa sababu lazima Kasongo aende nyumbani. However, ladies and gentlemen, we must remember that the problem of our country is beyond leaders. It is also a problem of society and culture. We need to think very seriously about the economic liberation of the people of Kenya, and more especially the young people, and for them to have opportunities to live, work, and grow in this country. 78% of our population is made up of young people. And out of that population, 6 million young people are looking for jobs, and they cannot find. The president that we have is claiming to have created jobs in the construction sector. Those are Mjengo jobs. Now, as you are very well aware, those jobs are temporary, and they are not permanent. Young people need dignified employment. The Cabinet Secretary for Labor, Alfred Mutua, recently I met him at the airport when I was coming from Mombasa, and he threatened me. And I want to say from this stage that he should return the 16 million shillings that he collected from young people as a promise to give them jobs in Saudi Arabia. He collected 50,000 from each of those young people, and to this day, none of them have gotten visas to go and work abroad. We should be very deliberate about creating job opportunities at home. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand here as a testimony that young people are very much interested in the leadership and governance of our country. And you, the young people, are listening to me. Today is a wake-up call to you, not just to be voters, but to stand up for positions of governance. You should not just complain. You should be solution finders. You are not enough to just be voters. You can be members of parliament, you can be senators, you can be governors, and you can be presidents. You can be the change that you want to see. And I hope to see that. My hope for the People's Liberation Party, which is PLP, is that it will give more tickets to young people to run for different positions. Na mimi Mheshimiwa Martha Karua, Senior Counsel, I want to request you that these young people, you should waive the money that they need to pay for party ticket, so that young people get free ticket to stand up for leadership in our country. Mwisho kabisa, as I finish, I've had the privilege of touring this country, 32 counties in total. Na mheshimiwa, mimi nataka kuambia kwamba ile mambo inaendelea hapa ni wizi bila kazi. It is theft to the left, theft to the right, and theft in the center. There is nothing that is going on in our country. Out of a budget of 3.9 trillion, 70% of it goes to theft and pilferage of public funds. And if you go everywhere in this country, it is dead project after dead project. Corruption has killed our devolution. It has killed opportunities to young people. Please, if you get an opportunity, give that a thought and ensure that we end corruption in our country. Mimi nina azma ya kuwa rais wa Kenya. But that is the will of God. It is God that gives leadership. It is not me to give it to myself. If you become our president ahead of me, ile kitu peke yake naomba ni kiti ya anti-corruption. Mimi, and I want to work for free. I don't want to be paid. Nipatie tu hiyo kiti ya EACC na uzime simu. Uniwache mimi nitashughulikia hawa. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Morara Kebaso. I would like to invite Professor Kivuta Kibwana. He did a very good job in the county government of Makueni, a living example of humility combined with excellence. Makueni alifanya kazi na sasa tunataka kumsikiza ili atueleze. Tumesema palipo wazee haparibiki. Asanteni.
People's Liberation Party. Mimi nina furaha sana kufika hapa leo kwa sababu Martha Karua aliniuliza nije katika kuona chama cha NARC Kenya kikipata sura mpya ya PLP. Nimetoka mbali na Martha Karua kwa sababu sisi wote wawili tulikuwa shule pamoja ya kisheria, mmoja akisimama na mwingine akikaa chini. Kwa hivyo Martha akiniomba nifanye jambo huwa mwepesi kwa kubali. Na vile vile tulipoanza NARC Kenya nilikuwa kutumia lugha ya Wamunyoro shareholder. Nilikuwa founder of NARC Kenya. Kwa hivyo nikaona kwamba leo mpaka pia nifike. Alafu mimi ninapenda sana People's Liberation. Mahali kuna hayo maneno mawili huwa mimi lazima nihudhurie. Na kwa kweli najua, kwa sababu tumefanya kazi kwa muda mrefu na Martha, nimejua kwamba Wakenya wako katika roho yake, na akiuliza tufanye jambo, ninajua kwamba hatuwezi kupotea njia. Hapa nimeona viongozi wengi na wana talents nyingi, na nimeona kwamba kuna nia ya kuleta hizo talents pamoja. Na kwa kweli tulipoona Gen Z wakisimama ndio wakomboe Kenya, they sacrificed their lives for a purpose. So even hawa viongozi wako hapa na kuna wengine hawako hapa, ninajua kwamba if the young people could sacrifice their lives for Kenya, each one of you and maybe others who are not here want to be presidents, you will do a small sacrifice of sacrificing your presidential ambitions so that the country can go forward. Kwa sababu hicho kiti cha president kinaweza kukaliwa na mtu mmoja, hakiwezi kukaliwa na watu wawili. And even when one person is the president 2027 going forward, what I think is needed in this country is group leadership, so that a president is just a person who is before, the others, lakini sio yeye kila kitu jinsi tumeona. Alafu nikimalizia nataka niseme huyu Kasongo ni mgumu, na he is good at last mile politics. Kwa hivyo huyu ni mtu wa kupangiwa vilivyo. Watu wakifikiri ni mteremko, ana mbinu nyingi. Kwa hivyo ndio tusiseme tunafurahi, hiyo sio enough. Kazi itafanywa, inatakikana ifanywe. Na nimeona kwamba kuna new political capital of Kenya, mahali kunaitwa Wamunyoro, na ninaona kwamba tutaendelea kwa sababu ukiona watu kama akina Mukisa, mtu ameenda inji zote za ulimwengu, ana marafiki wengi huko, anaweza to get a door finished. Hata ndugu yangu Kalonzo, isipokuwa kuna wakati tunakuwa na shida kidogo, ana capacity ya kuwa he has not been mentioned with corruption. Kwa hivyo hapo kuna jambo. Huyu mzee, that's a tough nut. Huyu ni mtoto wa maumau, so a lot is expected from you. Na wote tunaweza kuendelea. Kwa hivyo ndio nisitumie wakati mwingi. What I really want to say is it must be a true people's liberation. Kwa sababu we don't want to replace Kasongo na Kasongo mwingine. Si ndio? We don't want to replace Kasongo na Kasongo mwingine. And the young people, we don't want them to be in party wings. We want them to be an integral part of our politics. Because you here are people to hand over power to these young people, these Gen Zs, so that tuna kizazi kipya. Kwa hivyo nafurahi kwa sababu nimeona dalili kwa umbali ya muungano wa wazalendo, tuseme MUA. Asanteni.
Asante sana His Excellency Kivutha Kibwana. Ningependa kumkaribisha Honorable Dr. Muhisa Kitui ili aweze kuzungumza nasi. Asante.
Mwenyeji wetu na tena mgeni wa heshima siku ya leo, rafiki yangu wa miongo mingi sana, Martha Karua, waheshimiwa viongozi vinara wa vyama mbalimbali, wazalendo wa Kenya, hamjambo. Mimi kwanza ni fahari yangu kusema wakati tunazindua mlongo mpya wa chama cha PLP, nilikuwa mwanzilishi party leader wa NAK Kenya. And the DNA of NAK Kenya as a party that is responsive to youth vibes, to new thinking, remains to inform my thinking about this country. Sitasema mengi sana. Kihistoria, na mimi nilihusika na harakati za ukombozi wa pili. Every liberation movement reaches an inflection point when the decisions of leaders are critical in deciding whether it is going to collapse or it's going to succeed. The best example we have is 1991. Kenyans were united in believing that Moi was to go home. You did not need to tell them any other reason why Moi had to go home. They knew he had to go. The problem was everybody wanted to become the new Moi. If you remember 1992 elections, because of a critical mistake we made in 1990-91, Moi remained president after winning 34% of the popular vote. We are approaching a similar inflection point. Across this country, you don't need to say very much to convince people that Ruto is a terrible disaster to this country. It doesn't take much intellectual effort to show that he's a bad hypocrite, that he's bringing shame to us by hosting Janjaweed, terrorists who are killing black people in Western Sudan because of pieces of gold. You don't need very much to show that a person who keeps praising his intellectual credentials and does not show any evidence of exposure to education in his utterances in public does not do scholarship justice. But you know, the problem for Kenya right now is how can we use this moment of the relaunch of PLP as an opportunity to get every one of us to say, I have partisan interests to grow my party. I have personal political ambitions to move forward. But I have greater ambition to be part of national solution that Kenya must be liberated from the yoke of Ruto more urgently than my personal desire for political office. If we can take that as our main message going forward, the dividends are very, very close to us. 1991 we had a problem. We did not have a mother to bring us together and say our goal is larger than our personal ambition. But imagine if this had happened 2 years ago, no boys would have been picked from their homes in Kondele and their bodies found slaughtered by guns. No youth would have been shot on the streets of Nairobi and became statistics in mortuaries with impunity. Just so Rai will not have been abducted and be told, you withdraw this case or I'm going to kill you or expel you. Today, the blood of Gen Z, the fate of investors, the aspirations of our nation call upon us to be genuine in our determination, take shame of our nation, return humility to leadership, and find a higher calling that national liberation is more important than your personal political ambition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Muhisa Kitui. I would now like to invite Senator Richard Onyonka to come and address. He's done a very good job to